Hello everyone, I am Niharika. Welcome back. Today we're going to look at some idioms for the rich, for the poor, and for miser. Yes, we live in a society and we have a set of rich people, we have a set of poor people and misers. So rather than just saying that he's rich, she's poor, he's a miser, I have some expressions that you can use. Now, we all know that rich, they are the people who have a lot of money and possessions, whereas poor, well, they do not have sufficient wealth to even meet their basic needs. Whereas miser, well, they have money, but they hate to spend it. So, let's quickly have a look at some idioms or some expressions that you can use for them. So, I have 3 idioms for the rich. So, let's look at the first one here. It is to be loaded. Now, someone who is loaded has money in abundance. Means they have a lot of money. So, probably you can use this expression. My cousin lives in New York and she's loaded. So, which means, here I mean to say that she's rich, of course, but rather than just mentioning that she's rich, I am saying she's loaded. So she lives in New York and probably she makes a lot of money, she has a good job, a big house, and she's loaded, okay? Another one is to be sitting on a gold mine. Now, to be someone who is sitting on a gold mine, probably has something or owns something very valuable. Okay, so someone who owns something really valuable is someone who is sitting on a gold mine. So I have this friend of mine whose grandfather is loaded, okay, he's extremely wealthy, but when he dies, because he's already 96 years old, when he dies, all his wealth will be inherited by his grandson, that is my friend. So, which means my friend is sitting on a gold mine. He's rich and he's sitting on a gold mine because he's going to inherit all the wealth from his grandfather, okay? And then the third idiom or the third expression we have here is to have money to burn. Well, what does that mean? Now, you know, there are people who are extremely rich and they love spending their money. So even for the things that are not necessary. So probably they're very impulsive buyers or they just love to spend. So they are the people who burn their money. So like my aunt, now she also lives in New York and well, of course, her husband is super rich, she is rich, okay, they are loaded, but they also love to spend their money on unnecessary things. So like she goes shopping every day, she buys a lot of stuff for her house which is not even required, so she burns money, okay? So these are 3 expressions for the people who are rich and okay, for the rich people. And then I have 3 expressions for poor people. So poor people are the people who do not have sufficient wealth to meet their basic needs or, you know, to enjoy the luxuries of life. So the first one is to be as poor as church mice. So someone who is extremely poor, this is the right expression that you can say. So rather than just saying she's poor, you can say, oh, you know what? She's as poor as church mice. Okay? I hope you like this one. Another one is to be broke. I am always broke by the end of the month. So to be broke means to have no money. So like I said, that I'm always broke by the end of the month because the salary, okay, or the paycheck that I get just gets over by the end of the last month, by the last week. So I am almost broke, okay, which means I have no money, all right? And then the third one here is scrimp and save. Now this idiom means someone who lives on very little money, who's already a little poor, okay, and out of which they save for something. So like I know this man, his name is John, and he makes very little money, okay, his paycheck is not very royal, okay, he makes very little money, and he is saving out of that for his children who would like to go to college. Okay, so he's trying to save a lot of money for his kids. So this means that he scrimps and saves. Okay, so if you have to use this expression, you can say, I know this man who totally scrimps and saves with whatever he makes. Okay, so this is the way you can use this expression. And now let's have a look at a set of expressions for misers. So here are some expressions used for misers. So like I said in the beginning, miser people are the people who hate to spend money, who just do not want to spend money. So the other words that can be used for them are a Scrooge. Well, a Scrooge is a person who is extremely stingy. And in fact, Scrooge is a character that belongs to A Christmas Carol who did not like to spend money. So that's where this word comes from. So for example, if you have a friend of yours who hates to spend money, it just pinches him to, you know, remove money out of his pocket. So you can use the expression Scrooge for him. Oh, you're such a Scrooge, okay? Another one is a skinflint. Well, a skinflint is again who hates to spend money, okay, who is miser or stingy. Like, I have this cousin of mine, and she's really funny. You know what she does? She reuses her tea bags. So when she serves tea, you will always see that she reuses the tea bag. So she's such a miser. She's such a skinflint. So that's the way you can use the expression skinflint. Okay? And then the last one is tight-fisted. So someone who is tight-fisted hates to spend money. Hates to give or spend money. Like probably your boss who is so tight-fisted that he just doesn't want to increase your paycheck. So he is tight-fisted. Okay, so this is the way you can use these expressions. Hope they're helpful to you, because as I said, we do live in a society with some rich, some poor, and some miser people. I'll be back with a new lesson for you. Till then, you take care.